Hey guys, welcome to episode 42 of the Daily Level Up show. I am your host, Roosevelt Cooper, and this show documents my journey as a gamer dad entrepreneur. In this episode, I want to talk about why WrestleMania 39 ended the way it did. Warning, there will be spoilers in this episode, so if you did not watch WrestleMania 39, and if you want to watch it and if you want to be surprised, first of all, you probably shouldn't be online to begin with because, on YouTube and Facebook and different social media sites, there are a ton of spoilers. I usually will just avoid all social media and video sites when I'm trying to avoid things getting spoiled for me. But I am going to give you the spoiler warning that I will go into specific things that happened in the show and why I believe it happened the way it did. So if you don't want to be spoiled, please turn this video off now and don't watch it so that you don't have to worry about any spoilers. Otherwise, I will go ahead and proceed. First off, one question some of you might be thinking is, for a channel about gamer dad entrepreneurs, why are we talking about wrestling? That's a good question. Here's the thing. For those of you gamer dad entrepreneurs that are not wrestling fans, but you are obviously gamers, one of the things that you might not realize is wrestling is a significant part of gamer culture. First off, there are many gamer dad entrepreneurs like myself who are also huge wrestling fans. They've been watching wrestling as kids, particularly those of us in Generation X. There were two big things that most of us grew up on. Number one, video games, and number two, wrestling. Those were the two big things that we grew up with. And there's a major overlap between the professional wrestling fan community and the gamer community. Not only is there major overlap in those communities from the fan standpoint, there is also major overlap in those communities in the professional wrestlers themselves. First off, what you may not realize is if you are a professional wrestler, you are right off the back an entrepreneur. How so? Because professional wrestlers, they are not employees. They are independent contractors. They are offering their services as wrestlers to the wrestling corporation that they are working for. So they are entrepreneurs. And what you may not know is many wrestlers are gamers. Many wrestlers are gamers. So some popular wrestlers that you may know if you know a little bit about wrestling that are gamers, The New Day, which consists of Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods. They are huge gamers. They literally have a gaming channel called Up, Up, Down, Down. I know Kofi's a dad as well. So in case of Kofi specifically, he is literally a gamer dad entrepreneur. Ronda Rousey, who many of you will probably know even if you are not a wrestler, she is a huge gamer as well. Shayna Baszler is also a big gamer. Liv Morgan is also a big gamer. So there are a number of professional wrestlers who are also gamers. So that's why you will see from time to time me talk about professional wrestling, because professional wrestling is intricately linked to the gamer community. Now, so with that, what happened at WrestleMania 39 and why do I believe it happened the way it did? In WrestleMania 39, Night 2, the main event was the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, taking on the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And just to give you some background, Roman Reigns has been the champion for, I think it's like over 900 and something days now. And he's been unstoppable. He hasn't even been pinned since like 2019. So, he's like the big villain. He's kind of like the God. If you've seen the movie The Godfather, he's like the Godfather of the WWE. And so now, has he been winning cleanly? No, he's cheating. He's doing. He has his family, the bloodline, and they do his dirty work to give him unfair advantages. So he has not been winning fairly at all, but he's been Teflon Don, so to speak. He's just been finding ways to win when his back is up against the wall. He will find a way to cheat if he has to win. So that's been the story of Roman Reigns. And to give you an idea, there's only 4 people in the history of WWE who has had the world title longer than Roman Reigns, and all 4 of those people wrestled in the 70s and the 80s. So since the 1980s, there hasn't been anyone who has had the world title as long as Roman Reigns in the WWE. So that's the Roman Reigns side. Then you have the side of the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And with Cody Rhodes, he actually used to be in the WWE even before that. Cody Rhodes, he is actually the son of the late, great Dusty Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes, he was actually in the WWE many years ago, but he didn't have a whole lot of success. He was basically, at best, in the mid-card. He was never really a main eventer. But then he left the WWE and ended up going to the independent circuit, wrestling for independent companies. And then he helped start a new wrestling company called All Elite Wrestling, which is owned by Tony Khan, the son of the Khan billionaire, owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the AEW has actually been the first real number 2 competitor alternative to the WWE in a long time. There hasn't been a real big competitor to WWE since the WCW days in the late 90s, early 2000s. So Cody ends up coming back to the WWE. And this time, because of the success he had with AEW, he's now more well known. He's a part of different TV shows involved in pop culture. So because of that, when he comes back to the WWE this time around, he's no longer a mid-carder. He is clearly in the upper main event status. And he actually came back last year at WrestleMania. And the thing is, his father, as great of a wrestler his father was, his father never won the WWE Championship. So the whole storyline behind Cody Rhodes is he wants to be able to do what his father was never able to do, and that is win the WWE Championship. So now he has his chance at WrestleMania 39. And mind you, all this past year, he's been undefeated. He has not lost any matches at all. So he's been undefeated. And now he has a chance to finish the story, to come back, beat Roman Reigns, and win the title that his dad never won. And on the flip side, Roman Reigns, he's also comes from a very prestigious wrestling family as well. The Anunnaki, I might be pronouncing that wrong, the Anunnaki family, which is a major wrestling family in the Samoa Islands. They have a number of great wrestlers who have been a part of that family, such as the Wild Samoans, former WWE World Champion, the late great Yokozuna, Hollywood superstar The Rock is an indirect member of that family, I believe. So you have a lot of people who are a part of that great wrestling dynasty, so to speak. So you got, and actually it's funny because when Cody Rhodes, when his music starts, when he's coming down the ring, the very beginning is a statement that says, wrestling has more than one royal family. And it's true. There are a number of different royal families in wrestling. The Anunnaki family is one of them, and the Rhodes family is another one of them. So you got a lot to unpack here. You got these two superstars from these two legendary families. Both have been undefeated in the last year or so, and now they're battling it out to see who will walk away as the world champion. And practically everyone was totally expecting Cody Rhodes to win and finish the story and become the champion. And I was expecting Cody Rhodes to win too. I definitely thought that with the build-up that was taking place and the way the storyline was building, that this would be the time that the tribal chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, would finally be defeated and Cody Rhodes would finish the story and become the world champion. Well, guess what happened? That did not happen. Roman Reigns defeated Cody Rhodes and is now still the champion of the WWE. And people on Twitter and social media were upset. No, this is the wrong decision. They are ruining Cody Rhodes and blah, 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 blah. And you know what's funny about social media? Social media is one of the places where the people who have no idea what they're talking about will say to the people who actually have every idea what they're talking about that they are wrong and that they made the wrong decision. We saw that last night with the ending of WrestleMania 39. We saw it at the end of the college basketball game where the young lady did the John Cena, you can't see me, to the other young lady. For the record, I had zero problem with that at all. Trash talking is a natural part of basketball. So people having a problem with that, I don't understand it. But yeah, so you see that all the time on social media. You have people who have no idea what they're talking about telling the people who actually have every idea what they're talking about that they're wrong. And we saw that with the WWE. So even though I also thought that Cody Rhodes was going to win the title, he didn't. And here's why I believe he did not win the title. And why it totally makes sense for him not to win the title. If you know anything about Dusty Rhodes, one of the things you might know is that, first of all, Dusty Rhodes never won the WWE title. He's won a lot of great titles in his career, but he's never won the WWE title. But if you know anything about Dusty Rhodes, one of Dusty Rhodes' most famous promos, so the promos, if you're not familiar with wrestling, the promos are like the little interviews or the little vignettes that they do where they talk about how great they are and what they're going to do to their opponent and things of that nature. Well, Dusty Rhodes, one of his most famous promos of all time is a promo about adversity. And the promo is called Hard Times. And he's talking about how hard times builds character. It's a great promo. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, I highly recommend that you watch that promo. I'll see if I can put a link to it in the description. But it's a really great promo. So, did Cody Rhodes really go through hard times and when he came back to the WWE? No, he did not. He's beaten everyone that he's faced since he's come back. Now, you could argue that he did go through some hard times because he did have a pectoral injury. So he was out for a number of months. So yeah, he did go through some hard times from that standpoint. But in terms of his character and in terms of adversity he's faced in terms of competing, no, he has not gone through any hard times. He's been winning everything. So to me, it makes perfect sense for him to lose at WrestleMania if we truly want to finish the story. You can't give Cody Rhodes the championship and not without him having to go through hard times. And losing to Roman Reigns in the biggest match of his career, that's a great way to have him go through some hard times. And people are saying, oh, this is going to ruin him. The WWE, they have one of the biggest baby faces. Babyface, for those of you who are not familiar, babyface, that's like the good guys, and heels are the bad guys. So they're saying, oh, they're going to ruin him. WWE, they have one of the biggest baby faces that they've created, which is true. Like, I go crazy when I see Cody Rhodes, and I'm a huge Roman Reigns fan too, even though he's a bad guy. I'm a huge Roman Reigns fan. I literally have on my Peacock login, my login is called the Head of the Table. So, huge Roman Reigns fan, but I'm also a huge Cody Rhodes fan. So yes, I would definitely have been excited if he won, but it totally makes sense because I believe the way to really finish the story is to see what happens now that Cody Rhodes has taken this first loss. How is he able to recover from it and build back up to where he's able to eventually finally win the world title? And I also think it totally makes sense with having Roman Reigns so close to 1,000 days to be able to have Roman Reigns reach 1,000 days and potentially be able to surpass one of the people on the list of people who has had the title longer than him. Pedro Morales, I believe, is the fourth person who's like over 1,000-day mark. I think it does make sense to have Roman Reigns pass Pedro Morales and become number 3 on the all-time list. So that's why I believe that Cody Rhodes lost, and I believe that it does make sense for him to lose. You may still disagree, and you may still disagree passionately. I will say that I do have some knowledge with this, mainly because I'm old enough to have actually been watching wrestling since the 80s. So I've been through a number of different eras as a wrestling fan. So I believe that they did make the right decision. But to be totally honest, I can't even say that for certain that they made the right decision. You can't really say that for certain that they made the wrong decision. We won't know if they made the right decision or not until weeks and months have gone by and we see where the story goes. Because one of the things Triple H said in the press conference last night, which is so true, the story never ends in wrestling. There's always a new chapter to the story. So that's my thoughts about why WrestleMania 39 ended the way it did. Hopefully you got some value out of that. Side note, there is a rumor going on right now that Endeavor, which is the company that owns UFC, is purchasing the WWE, and that they're going to have a new combined company. They're saying that it may happen as soon as tomorrow. So if that does happen, I will definitely talk about that in the next episode tomorrow. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow in the next episode of the Daily Level Up Show. Take care.